the former Boston Police Commissioner, Ed Davis, kind enough to join us now. And I'm sure, Commissioner Davis, you were able to hear Commissioner O'Neill and other officials in New York as they went through the developments as they know it. I did think it was interesting. John Miller was one of the gentlemen speaking there. John Miller is the Deputy Commissioner here for Intelligence and Counterterrorism in New York. He's actually a longtime television reporter. He's gone in and out of that business in law enforcement. But he seemed to lay out a timeline of all this, that George Soros, the philanthropist and investor and what have you, he had received this package at his home in suburban New York, I believe, over the weekend. And then it seems like they were able to piece together things that the other packages, and to use his words, were nearly identical. He talked about the package being sent to the Obamas. So, you know, obviously it does seem like we have a pattern developing here. What do you make of it all?
Well, there is a pattern developing, and clearly it has a political connection. So motivation is a big part of what the investigators will look at. John Miller is a friend of mine, as is Jimmy O'Neill. You couldn't get two better cops in the United States directed at this. So I'm fairly confident they'll be able to run this person down. They're going to look at, beyond motivation, they're going to be looking at the construction of the device. They're going to look for DNA. They're going to look for fingerprints. They're going to look for, you know, peculiarities of that device and compare it to databases held by police and military. IED defeat team will be involved in this from the Defense Department. There's going to be all sorts of eyes on this, and then they're going to track the package back through the mail system to find out or get as close as they can to where it came from. So there's been a good record of closing these cases. I think the Unabomber is an example where it went on for a long time before they caught him, but they did catch him. So I think there's a very good chance that we'll find out who's responsible for this. On
the political element, the political officials that have been named up until a few moments ago, and, well, you know, even including a few moments ago, all the political officials have been Democrats. So I said earlier, you don't want to kind of rush to judgment or make assumptions, but obviously that aids in the investigation.
Yes, there's no question. Not only does it aid in the investigation, but it also gives pause to high-profile Democrats in other parts of the country. I think that the security apparatus around the nation is identifying individuals who may be targeted here and making sure that they're very, very careful about handling mail and about packages that they deal with. This could continue into the evening as mail deliveries are made, but now that people are aware of it, the chance of a successful detonation is lower, and I think that's a testament to the security services that are out there right now.
Yeah, and that's the other, I guess, headline to come out of that news conference. There were a number of them, but the other one was that, you know, there's a likelihood, I believe is how it was phrased, or something along those lines, that there are other packages out there. I mean, that's a reasonable assumption, don't you think, Commissioner?
I think it is, and I think we have to be cautious of that.
Yeah.
The other interesting thing that came out of the press conference was the presence of white powder.
Yes.
There are different protocols for dealing with those things, different response, different protocols. So that does, this dual threat does make it more difficult to respond to.
By the way, I don't think we know yet, but I don't think we know if there was white powder on any of the other packages. I mean, there very well may be,
right.
but I don't think we don't know that, right? Just the CNN package.
Right. John Miller said that the one at CNN had white powder on it. But there have been other people that have said these are very similar packages. So, you know, it's clearly something you have to worry about.
All right. Anything that you're thinking about today in terms of questions we don't have answered yet? By the way, this picture, and we're showing a close-up, when Christina was reporting, we showed it again, is, and Ralph, correct me if I'm wrong in my ear, of the package that was sent to CNN. Was this released by the New York City Police Department? This is the package that was sent to CNN. It was described by John Miller and some of those other officials as what appeared to be a pipe bomb. I don't know, Ed, if you can see this. You probably can. I don't know if you have a return feed where you are. Okay, but it appears, again, what John said, it appears to be a pipe bomb. Do we read anything into that in terms of how professional the person may have been, or the opposite, how amateurish this person may have been, or persons?
Well, the interesting part of this is if there's an explosive in these, and it appears as though there was in the first one, the fact that this guy didn't blow himself up in the construction of them is an indication of some sophistication. That looks like a very well-made device from the looks of it from the outside. You've got caps on both ends of some sort. You've got a wire coming into what may be a detonator, a cell phone, or something in front. If I saw that, I would move way back and call the bomb squad.
Okay. Ed Davis, thank you, former Boston Police Commissioner.